Let's talk about crafting high-tier gear. Unlike consumables like food tinctures, weapon coatings, or potions that always will be in demand, interest for gear, such as tools, weapons, armor, and jewelry, in time might completely disappear. In theory, after some time, everyone will own all the best gear that they might ever need. And very few new players will join, so almost no new demand, thus leaving all crafters with completely useless mastery skills. What do you think? Will demand for these items eventually completely disappear? On first glance, it does seem so, as economy in New World is completely player driven and players can use any armor, weapon or jewelry piece indefinitely. Just repair it from time to time, and as soon as they get, in their opinion, the best piece, they will never look back for another one. Or will they? We already know that developers eventually will expand maximum level cap above 60, which tells us that eventually endgame content will be pushed above NPC level of 65 too, which means new territories, stronger enemies and tougher bosses. And that means, to keep us engaged, devs will also slightly increase gear score cap for legendary item drops with each player level cap increase. So we will have to keep farming poor NPCs over and over again in perpetuity. Now, we also know that crafting mastery skills have endless progression, and crafted item quality depends on gear score cap that we have. And if the idea is really to keep crafting at parity with legendary drops, then it's so easy to increase crafted item gear score cap every time when player level cap is increased, and new and better legendary items are introduced, thus artificially creating demand for best possible weapons, armor and jewelry, as new crafted items also will be better than previously crafted ones. This is one way how MMOs create gear sinks in games. Just implement better gear from time to time, introduce few new cool perks, and that will force players to replace old gear with slightly better ones. So I don't expect at all that demand for weapons, armor or jewelry will ever stop. Devs won't allow this to happen, as that would be really bad for the game and pretty much kill market for such items. But there is a very simple way how to remove gear from the game in more natural way. Turn all gear into some kind of consumable, and what I mean here is this. Every time you repair any item, it goes down in gear score. So more you repair an item, faster you will need a replacement, as at some point your weapon's damage will fall below a certain threshold, and it will make more sense to replace it than repair over and over again, thus making it less and less effective. Now durable perk doesn't look so useless anymore, does it? Of course, it's not pretty to know that your precious legendary sword is losing its damage every time you repair it. But same time, there will be new and better items added anyway, so your precious sword will become useless eventually, no matter how much you care about it. So now gear would also act like some kind of consumable, just decaying at a very slow rate. Of course it must be balanced, but I would definitely go for this system as it feels much more natural and logical. It also makes dying much more penalizing and carrying too much gear with you riskier. There is also a lazy way how to remove gear from the game. Implement a chance of breaking an item every time you repair it. I am not a fan of random, but I've seen similar designs before and hope that developers will never come back to this, as slightly losing gear score with every repair is a fair system, and random is almost never fair. But that's not all. To make use of jewel crafting, engineering, weaponsmithing and armoring crafting mastery even more, the gear score loss can be tied to mastery skill that is required to craft an item. Higher the trade skill, less you lose with each repair. Or maybe even introduce completely new trade skill for this purpose, like repair mastery skill. So if you want your legendary sword to have longer life, you will have to enlist service of the best weaponsmith or repairman. Of course, that would require some additional coding, as players can't drop or give anyone items that are bound on pickup. But a special repair station can be implemented in any settlement, where players drop their gear, like in storage sheds, and pay the price. And to repair items here would cost same amount of resources as crafting new item of that tier, so it can act as a resource sink too. It'll be interesting to see which approach devs will choose, but I'm sure that all gear crafters can exhale. There will be demand for your gear even when everyone will reach level 60 and have all tier 5 gear on them. The only question to me is how this demand will be generated. And then, when players will get used that their gear is not something that they should attach to, but always have to keep backup gear nearby, then it will be much easier for devs to implement some kind of dropped loot system in PvP. This will never happen, but if it would, then players wouldn't go crazy over it, as gear in this game is not irreplaceable at all. And physics-based combat is more about how you use different weapons than what stats every item has anyway. Let me know if you have any other ideas on how to make high-tier item crafting in New World more exciting and dynamic. Link to my Discord is down below, feel free to jump in and say hi or ask me any questions. That's it for now, Aeternum awaits you.